Welcome back to Misery Sports Co., the only corporation where morale expired 3 fiscal quarters ago, the break room coffee tastes like regret, and somehow HR keeps scheduling fun meetings during lunch.
If Suffering had a logo, we'd slap a mug on it and call it merch. I'm Zach.
And I'm Trevor, still the acting director of Unfinished Reports and Unfinished Dreams. Last week, we took a full-blown plunge into the Minnesota Vikings, a journey marked by hope, heartbreak, and one too many mentions of next year.
But this week, no deep dive. The analytics department is on strike. The research team is hiding under their desks, and honestly, emotionally, we just don't have it.
So instead, we're taking the service elevator down to the break room, where rumors circulate freely, the microwave sparks in 2 different colors, and the coaching carousel spins so fast it voids the warranty. But first, we have our first sponsor of the week.
And this next segment is going to be brought to you by the Penn State Almost Hired Him Hall of Fame, celebrating every coach they talked to, almost talked to, emailed, or imagined talking to before deciding, maybe next month.
You know, it would take isn't it the Hockey Hall of Fame? I think is in like a mall. It would take the entire mall to hold the Penn State football Almost Hired Hall of Fame.
We will get into that in the break room. The break room is going to be around that coaching carousel. Penn State has been an unmitigated disaster. That's just the easiest way to describe it.
In every sense of the word, it has been rough. Looking forward to getting into that. But first, it's time to flip on the flickering fluorescent lights and check our weekly earnings report, where stats are mislabeled, trends are mislived, and the intern in charge of data integrity swears they're doing their best.
That's right. And this week, I'm going to provide an update on my beloved, the Blue Jackets and the Cavaliers is who we'll start with.
Love it.
Continuing the road of mediocrity. So the Blue Jackets have actually lost 3 of their last 5 in overtime, which are just ultimate gut punches.
You get a point, though.
You do get a point. In hockey, they kind of shake your hand. They pat you on the back to give you 1 point instead of 2 for the win.
Here's the point.
But we are actually dead last. We have a winning record, but we are dead last in our division.
Oh, no.
No, it's great. So we'll see. Young team. We'll see what happens. Cavaliers are just a disaster. I just saw they lost to the Trailblazers tonight.
I can't. If they're bad too, I don't know, Zach.
They're so injured right now, Trevor. So, like, Max Strus has been injured the entire year. He was a starter last year. Jared Allen's out. He was another starter, and Garland just doesn't look like himself right now. He's still coming back from injury. But the main course, the fried turkey, if you will, is going to be the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns played the San Francisco 49ers. We lost, which isn't a shock to anybody. I'm really going to hone in on our just incredible special teams, and I just can't believe that Kevin Stefanski coaches us so well. We gave up a 66-yard punt return. I'm going to preface this entire thing by saying the San Francisco 49ers scored 3 touchdowns in the game. Credit them for that.
Yep.
They spent 92 yards in those 3 drives scoring, which comes out to an average of 30 yards, Trevor. So they were 30 yards or closer on most of these drives. We not only gave up a 66-yard punt return, our punt returner, who is an undrafted free agent, right? So undrafted free agent, he's back
Value,
there.
baby.
The winds are swirling in Cleveland, Ohio. It is a brutal day. He muffs the first punt, and he falls on it. Okay. All right. Fine. Okay. He comes back out there. He muffs the second punt. Shame on you. I don't know. We should probably pull you. But Kevin Stefanski, in his ultimate wisdom, says, we got to ride him. He's the hot hand. So they put him back there again. He muffed a third punt, Trevor.
Gosh.
And the 49ers finally recovered it. They stuffed it back in the end zone. That was it. Our offense was very conservative. Stefanski's not even giving us a shot at this point. We are a broken team. Earlier on, I said that Stefanski was safe. I don't know that that's the case anymore. Just the simple stuff right now We're not doing well. We are in the cellar of Misery Sports Co. right now.
Oh my gosh. Well, if rumors start to swirl about him, I better not see his name come across Titans Twitter, because I will tell you earlier in the year, it was, hey, the Browns might be dumb enough to let Stefanski go. And I'm out here screaming, no. It's like Interstellar. I'm banging the bookshelf like, no, don't do it. I can't go through that.
No, you don't want anything to do with this. He's a great coordinator, I guess. I don't know. I don't even think he's a great coordinator. He sucked in Minnesota, so he's not charismatic. He's not a leader of men. I don't know what he is, but he's not a good coach. And we're not even doing the little things right, which you're a professional team getting paid millions of dollars to do.
That is so frustrating. The little things, like, it's okay if your scheme sucks or like you lost to a better team, but if you could do the little things right, no pre-snap penalties, especially after timeouts, and no dumb
Fielding
penalties like face masks. Fielding a punt, sure, the third time. Oh,
yeah. But I digress. Trevor, what do you got in your weekly earnings report?
I wish I could say it was better. I really do. But it was not. I'm going to do something that I have not done before on this podcast. Okay. We're in episode 12. New thing. I'm going to skip over the Titans altogether because, and I know this in my bones, when God created the universe or was thinking about it and saw this game against the Titans and Jaguars, I know in my bones there was a thought like, oh, is this all worth it? But here we are, and here I am having to watch and take in a Titans-Jaguars game in 2025. And so I cannot ethically subject to our good listeners who are now in Russia and Brazil and UK. We thank you for joining us. I cannot ethically subject anybody to this. So I'm just going to skip the Titans. I'm not going to tell you that we lost 25-3 against the Jaguars on a day where we had 3 fumbles. Cam went 24 for 38. 24 for 38 sounds like okay.
It's not bad.
For 141 yards.
Not great.
I'm not going to tell you that Xavier Restrepo, who again is the University of Miami like all-time leader in receiving yards, had to get carted off the field in his second game. I'm not going to tell you that our one shining national story of getting an all-pro return man was dashed after he fumbled a kickoff return. I'm not going to tell you any of that because it's not worth it, and it's we're past miserable to like it would be unethical and just cruel of me to share any more than what I've already shared about what happened on Sunday.
So I look at the box scores and, I'm trying to figure out what exactly is going on. And when I look at the Tennessee box scores, I recognize no one on the offensive side. It reminds me, Trevor, of when LeBron James left for Miami the first time and the Cleveland Cavaliers had the Luke Herringotes of the world from Notre Dame, who was just a college all-star, and you just have these all-stars from high school and college. Luke Herringote, man. He was just a big old, big old bruiser for Notre Dame back in the day.
Oh my God.
He was awful, and I just feel like I'm looking at a bunch of Luke Herringotes
everywhere on this team. Everywhere. Yes. James Proche, who are you? And it's so frustrating. And at least with Restrepo, Cam had chemistry, so it's like, well, let's see. Oh, we can't. He got carted off. Anyways, it's going really great. It's going super good. I'm going to skip that. Let's go to Mavs land, where things are record-wise not any better, but vibes-wise much better. So I'll at least report on that. Cooper Flagg became the youngest player ever to score 35 points in a game against the Clippers. He beat LeBron's record by 5 days. So Cooper was 18 years.
Suck it, LeBron.
Boom. 18 years and 343 days. Boom. So still an 18-year-old. Beat the Clippers, which for Mavs fans is always funny and hilarious because they were the source of pain for such a long time. I tell you what, they're worth a deep dive sometime soon because that organization is going through it. This week, they just asked Chris Paul to go home. And like, that was the wording of the reports. Like when Chris Paul came out, he was like, I was asked to go home this week. What does that mean?
He was signed to a minimum deal to be like a vet presence. He was like, yeah, I want to come back to LA. I want to be, I want to help out. And it did not work.
That's how bad the vibes are. They got to ask you to go home. So good job, Cooper Flag. Ryan Nembhard. I get their Nembhards mixed up. I think it's Ryan Nembhard. Undrafted rookie for us. He led the NCAA in assists last year at Gonzaga, went undrafted. I think by the time he got to like 40, his agent was like, we're not doing it. So, but he's balling out now. I think the D'Angelo Russell show is thankfully over. He slid into the 6-man role. So we're free of that. But Nembhard had 28. Coop had 24 the other night. Anthony Davis played a game where he scored like 35 points, so things are good.
We're back, baby.
We are so back. And the Stars. I'll finish with the Stars. Those seasons where you can see the end result and it's good, but your team cannot stay healthy. Have you had those years before?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And it just...
all the time.
You hope for health and you just can't get it. Well, this week, let's just start with this week. I had to watch Leon Bischel, who's a big 6'5" defenseman, only 21 years old. He's a stud. He went into the boards leg first. And if you've ever seen if you ever see a 6'5" person on skates writhing around on the ice screaming, it's bad. So he's out 6 to 8 weeks. And then Tyler Seguin, my beloved Tyler Seguin, who I'm just such a big fan of, he missed 60 something games last year because he had a hip injury. And last night he goes down awkwardly, kind of got tripped by a guy. It was an innocuous play. It was a freak play. But goes down awkwardly. We learned today that he tore his ACL and is out for the entire regular season after 27 games. 33 years old. You just feel for him. Like, I cannot mentally or imagine the mental toll it takes to work back from that. I mean, we've seen people like Andrew Luck just be like, I can't anymore, because it's such a toll to work through that. And so he's done for the year. Maybe we'll be back in playoffs. I don't know. But that is now 7 of our starting 18 skaters. 7 of them are injured and have missed serious time this year. 7 of them. And yet, the Stars are in second place in the league. So, I don't know.
Keep riding it.
We'll see.
That's all you can do.
Yeah,
it sucks, man. Injuries are part of it. There's definitely luck involved, especially at this point with really all of the leagues. It feels like hockey, basketball, football. The athletes are at the highest peak that they've been, in my opinion, versus like even the 70s or the 80s. And I feel like the injuries that are occurring are more frequent and they're brutal right now.
They are, because I feel like, at least with hockey, they are squeezing so much into these seasons, especially this year now with the Olympic break. It's just, you're playing a game every 2 days, and like tonight, they're on the second night of a back-to-back. There's no time for practice anymore. NHLers don't practice. Like, there's no time. They don't practice anymore. They receive great care otherwise, but like eventually that's going to catch up on you.
Yeah. Yep. Well, hang in there. That's rough. But here at Misery Sports Co., our stock valuation has taken an unscheduled elevator ride to the basement, and investor confidence clocked out 45 minutes early.
But before our accountants start Googling careers outside sports, let's reset the mood with a word from our sponsor. This from Google for Sports Fans, aka Spoogle. You're driving down the road with your wife and she catches you talking to yourself. What is it? She asks, seeing you deep in thought, wondering if you're replaying that last interaction with your in-laws where you were a little too honest about the Thanksgiving meal. But you're not. You're trying to think of the name of that random center that played for the Mavericks during Dirk's last years that came from the Clippers, maybe. He had a beard and he was supposed to be the best offensive big man the Mavs ever had seen. And I think he was into like guns or hunting or something, and it's really going to bug you till you know. Do you really want to share that with your wife to type all that into Google? Well, now you don't have to with Spoogle. Just say, hey, Spoogle, and start rambling. Before you know it, it'll jump in with Chris Kamen, and you can go back to that uncomfortable car ride with Spoogle, the Google for sports fans.
Thank you so much, Spoogle. And this really goes back to the 2011 Cavaliers. Luke Herringody. No, I want to show you who was on this team, Trevor. It was so bad. Daniel Booby Gibson.
Oh, Booby.
The Baron Davis.
Are you kidding me? Baron Davis? Oh, my God.
Baron Davis. And we're going back to the rookies. Manny Harris from Michigan. You remember Manny Harris? He was really good in college. Terrible. Yeah, no clue because he never played outside of the Cavaliers.
Exactly.
Samardo Samuels from Louisville. He played for the Cavaliers. What a disaster. Thank you, Spoogle, for really giving us that insight.
When you just can't think of that person.
Welcome to the mailroom, where the lighting is dim, the envelopes are slightly damp, and the tweets are concerning. Trevor, what did you extract from the inbox this time?
I've got a couple of entries this week. My winner will be of the audio variety. But first, a couple quick tweets with this coaching carousel that we're going to get into here in a little bit. A lot of coaching names have come up, and the Titans will be looking for a head coach come the end of the year. We'll see how that goes. I'll build up hope. I'll be disappointed. It'll be fine. One name that has come up is Dan Lanning at Oregon. Would he be able to be drawn away from the college ranks to join the NFL where there's no recruiting, there's no NIL, and you're just dealing with footballs and the occasional diva? Another name that has come up is Marcus Freeman from Notre Dame. Would he be able to be drawn out? And I could actually 100% root for him potentially instead of being very conflicted. We love Marcus Freeman, yay Ohio State, but coaching at Notre Dame has offered some conflicts. And so these two names have come up. One of the bloggers and sort of, I guess you'd call him a beat writer, more online writer, Mike Herndon, mentioned, I don't think they'd be interesting, but I'd crawl over broken glass for the Titans to hire Marcus Freeman or Dan Lanning, to which Brett Kovach said, as a Notre Dame and Titans fan, I would never wish that evil on Marcus Freeman. And honestly, I have to agree. Just stay where you are. Nobody should have to suffer through what the Titans have going right now. Another quick one from the Dodgers Muse account. I don't know if you follow any of the Stats Muse or the Stat Muse accounts. They'll have them for players and teams, and they're kind of goofy. But this is the one from the Los Angeles Dodgers that say, this is your reminder that the Los Angeles Dodgers had more wins in the month of November than the Las Vegas Raiders, the Washington Commanders, the New York Giants, and the Tennessee Titans. So how fun is that? The World Series team had more wins in November than a football team. That's great. But the one I'm very excited to share is from the Trending Sports Podcast. I meant to share this last week. They're my tweet of the week for sure. We'll give them some love at Trending Sports P. And this was them watching the Raiders and Browns game. So this is a play where Shador hits Judy on a deep pass, and he runs down and eventually fumbles and turns it over.
Yeah.
And so what you're going to hear is some excitement followed by the reaction to the Judy fumble. So please enjoy. And you're listening to it on MSC.
Come on, Shadur. Oh my God.
Oh, he's going deep again.
Sling that.
He's going fucking deep. Bang! Bang, baby! Let's go! Oh my Christ, this team sucks.
Welcome to Cleveland.
Oh my god.
And the end of that just kills me. Welcome to Cleveland. Oh, shoot.
It was so annoying because Jerry Jeudy just has zero awareness. Like, it was a great pass. It was a great play. He gets like 30, 40 yards down the field, and he just like pauses and does this really awkward juke, and there is clearly someone behind him who just like super punches the ball out.
Yes.
Again,
Awareness.
goes back to Kevin
awareness.
Stefanski. How are we not practicing these things? Look behind your shoulder. You caught a 30-yard pass in the NFL. Someone's chasing you.
Someone is chasing you. Just look around. So thanks, Trending Sports Podcast. You are my tweet of the week. How about you, Zach? What do you got?
So I actually have one from each of our games, Trevor. So I have one from the Titans and the Jaguars. So I will start there. This is from @ML Football, and it is Titans running back Julius Chestnut. So there was an interaction with the Jacksonville Jaguars punter, and we'll hear it from Julius firsthand. Here it is.
I don't really know why the punter did that. You know, honestly, I was just trying to play hard, and he came up to me, said he was going to kill me. You know, so I don't know what made him do.
What? Sir, this is a Wendy's.
Oh my gosh. I don't know why he did that to me, honestly. Oh my gosh.
You can tell he's amused by it because the punter is no threat to anyone on a football field.
No. You're not. Yeah, that's the last person you're going to take seriously if they're like, I'm going to kill you. Like, shut up, punter. But to like, not for that just to happen, but for him to be like, I'm going to share it with the media for this to be known. Like, what are you doing? Just leave it out there, man. I don't know. To me, I was like, I don't need to know about that, especially in a game that we lost. If we had like beat them, it'd be like, hey, you want to hear something funny from that win? Like, that punter said he was going to kill me. Isn't that funny? But like, don't come out and be like, why would he say that? Like, it's football. A couple weeks ago, I played a clip where Robert Saleh was screaming at the Jags head coach saying he was going to effing end his life. So like, whatever.
Yep. So speaking of trash talk, in the 49ers-Browns game, Jawan Jennings from the 49ers, I think it was the week prior, maybe the 2 weeks ago, he actually got punched in the groin in a game. So words were said, something happened, and the dude got literally punched in the nuts. He came after the guy after the game and like slapped him on the head or something like that. Well, Jawan got back into some altercations with the Browns, and Shelby Harris from the Cleveland Browns, he's a defensive lineman, he took some issue with Jawan Jennings, and this is what Shelby Harris had to say.
He's a hoe, and I want that known. Like, I see why he got punched in the nuts, because that's some, like, he says some things that you should not say to another man ever, but like, I don't respect it because you say that, then run behind your O-line. That's some real soft shit, and I want that known. I see exactly why they punched you in the nuts. I'm surprised nobody punched him in the jaw yet.
Oh my goodness. So there's a couple of things here, right? Because defensive linemen and receivers rarely interact with each other, right?
Yeah.
Receivers are on the outside. Linemen are trying to get to the quarterback or tackle the running back. So for the receiver to talk that much trash and a defensive lineman to pick it up is bad. Like something happened. The NFL has it. I want this unedited footage.
Oh man,
I want it from this play. I want it from Mason Rudolph. I need to know what he said to Myles
What
Garrett.
did he say?
to get
what
the
did
helmet.
he say?
There's so many different situations. I'm sure the NFL's looked at it and they just chuckle to themselves. They're like, yeah, he's crazy. But like, what did he say to Shelby Harris to make him go absolutely nuts and then run behind his line?
Ah, man, that is such a wide receiver move. Man, gosh, that's funny. He's a hoe.
And we couldn't back it up on the field. So let it live. Let's check in with our next sponsor before we go into our next segment, who's frantically trying to cancel while this ad is playing. We are actually going to thank the Los Angeles Clippers HR hotline, specializing in conversations that start with, "We really appreciate your leadership," but they end with, "But we're going to need your key card back."
We're going to need you to go home and never come back. Oh, man. I don't shed a tear at all for Chris Paul.
No, he kind of, I don't know. He seems pretty prickly.
Yeah.
He was a great player, but like,
Sure.
I don't know. People don't rally around him. Even Lob City, like those guys didn't.
Yep.
I don't think they really loved him. I don't think JJ Redick liked him.
No.
It's interesting.
One of the most underachieving teams of all time, too. They didn't even make it to a conference finals.
Agreed. Yep.
that I'm,
And Blake
you know,
Griffin was like the number one
happy
pick
about
and all
that.
that stuff.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much to the Los Angeles Clippers, their HR department. They're really working overtime at this point, trying to explain that, as well as all of Steve Ballmer's shady investments into shell companies to pay Kawhi. Welcome to the Moral Victories department, where expectations are optional and success is typically measured in, well, at least it wasn't worse.
That's right. It's tradition here to pass out some awards. So first we're going to start with Employee of the Week. So I actually have 2 entries. So I guess each of these are going to win half an Employee of the Week. So really quick, first one goes to Traylon Burks. You may remember Traylon Burks was the wide receiver who was drafted right after the A.J. Brown trade in that draft. Hey, it's okay. We can trade away A.J. Brown. We have Traylon Burks now, and that's going to solve everything. It did not solve everything. He was pretty consistently hurt. He had some great plays for us, but couldn't stay healthy. It was time to move on, give him another chance. And so he ended up on the Washington Commanders with former Titans great Marcus Mariota, who is the backup for Jalen
Washington
Daniels, Jaden Daniels. Golly, I can never get it. Jaden Daniels, who's Jaden's backup and is playing. So he was playing the Sunday night football game against the Broncos, and it was on the maybe like 5-yard line. Runs a end zone fade and goes up and just one hand grabs it, brings it down. Spectacular catch for Traylon Burks. Just really excited for him. He always seemed like a great kid. Just needed a change of scenery. Like it was time. And to catch an awesome touchdown from Marcus just absolutely warmed my heart. It's that, it's part of being at MSC. People you love are going to go succeed somewhere else. So that's a fun experience. Got to watch him. So congrats on the half win, Traylon. My other employee of the week, real quick, is actually Myles Garrett, but nothing for his performance on the field, though it's been spectacular. Okay. He's so great. And at the end of this podcast, we're going to talk about a record that he's going to set on Sunday. It is happening. But the NFL has a My Cause, My Cleats campaign where they get to wear special cleats and warm-ups for some cause that's personal to them. They can decorate those cleats however they want. And Myles Garrett wore the cleats for Luke Laufenberg, which was really cool. So Luke was the son of Babe Laufenberg, who is a former Cowboys quarterback and is in the Dallas media. So when I was in Dallas, he was a very prominent voice in the Cowboys media. Just seemed like a great guy, really plugged in. And so his son Luke played football, was a very good football player, but unfortunately was 19 when he lost his battle with leukemia and passed away. And so it was just really cool to see that Myles connected and actually wore cleats honoring Luke's life specifically. And Babe was there on the sideline with a Myles Garrett jersey. He said in a tweet that it was the first time that he ever wore a jersey that didn't have his name on the back. And so he was there supporting Myles Garrett and wrote a really nice piece just thanking him for his support and raising awareness for leukemia and honoring his son Luke. So congrats to Myles Garrett. I thought that was really cool this week.
That's awesome. That's super cool. Taking a look at the employee of the week on my side, I hate all my teams right now, so I couldn't I couldn't really find thank you to the undrafted rookie for dropping 3 punts, I guess. I don't one of the shining stars or the bright lights, right? Because you and I, yes, we have several teams that fit within Misery Sports Co., but we also have a few teams like the Dallas Stars, the Ohio State Buckeyes, that stand out occasionally and bring us some joy. So I am going to highlight my, if you will say, soccer or English Premier League team, Arsenal. So they've been on a tear.
Okay. All right.
They're top of the table in the English Premier League. They crushed Bayern Munich in the Champions League.
Heck yeah.
Qualifying rounds, and they actually tied with your Chelsea squad this past weekend, 1-1.
Take a time.
Chelsea was down a man in that game, and they were actually winning. They scored and went ahead 1-0.
Jeez. We
but
couldn't
Arsenal
park the
ended up
bus with
tying
10
it.
people. Dang it.
They tried their best. But shout out to the Arsenal team. I'm going to say this. Arsenal is always in this position where they're at the top of the table, and something freaky happens, and then it's Man City or it's Liverpool. So hoping for the best, but we'll see by the end of this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congrats, Arsenal. The certificates for those awards are being handled. After that, their fate is really anyone's guess.
So normally we would jump into the deep dive during this next segment, but we thought it was appropriate to jump into the break room. Our research and development's now off-site. They're not here, so we are going to take a break, and there's been a lot going on recently within the coaching world.
Quite a lot. So let's jump into the biggest story that dominated this past week. And that was Lane Kiffin leaving Ole Miss to go to LSU. And all of this comes as Ole Miss is gearing up. They're not in the SEC championship, but they're gearing up for a trip to the college football playoff, seeking a national championship. So an incredibly important, crucial time of year. And through a weird series of events, and nobody's really sure where to put the blame on it, Lane Kiffin's gone.
Yeah, so Lane Kiffin has a history of this, right? And that's kind of the mini deep dive, right? Is like he started at USC, he worked with Pete Carroll, he had some success. He went to the Raiders. Al Davis called him a liar, so he bailed the Raiders.
Which you have to at that point. That was the right move.
He went to Tennessee. It did not go well, to the point where students were burning couches as he was leaving.
Yeah.
He's gotten fired from USC on the tarmac.
Awesome.
So Lane Kiffin has this history, but with Ole Miss, when I think of Ole Miss, I think of the Minnesota Vikings, who you covered last week. They're in that middle tier. They are under the shadow of the LSUs and the Alabamas of the world historically.
Yep.
But Lane was lifting them up to greater heights the last couple seasons.
Yes. And somehow, and I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel like I think he's been at Ole Miss for 6 or so years. He's sort of reclaimed his image and became somewhat likable, especially like in the last 2 years. He is very online, has some very funny tweets. He's always kind of up with the Twitter beef. He loves drama. He loves attention. And somehow he had cultivated a pretty like crazy uncle, lovable relative image, which after everything you just said seemed super unlikely. And I think 2 weeks ago we were talking about Lane Kiffin, and I remember saying like, I can't believe it, but I'm a big fan of his. Like, I think it's great. And here we are, not 2 weeks later.
he was in that viral clip talking smack about Brent Venables for Oklahoma and like how he had dominated him a couple times. Like he's such a big troll.
Yep.
A couple thoughts. Like I feel like the NCAA calendar has just screwed everything up. He had to jump if he wanted to LSU, just because of the recruiting, right? So recruiting signing day is today. And so I just feel for the Ole Miss fans, right? You have waited for this moment. Lane Kiffin has led you to a one-loss season. You are on the doorstep of hosting a playoff game, and he has to bail on you for LSU, which it's not even like he's going to another conference, a different part of the country. He's going right next door to a competitor, a direct competitor. He's going to take staff. He's going to take players. And now your chance to shine, and I think Ole Miss could do some damage, is going to be in trouble right now.
It certainly is in worse shape than it was. Now, thankfully, they had their coordinator, Pete Golding, who is promoted, and they were very quick to come out and say, like, this is permanent. Like, we're going to make Golding the head coach. There was no, we'll see how the playoffs go. It was very quick. I think a lot of that had to do with trying to not spook recruits and like, hey, we have a plan for moving forward. And the players got behind that. I think what also has been interesting is the messaging around this. Lane did a really weird interview with ESPN where he was like, oh, I can't believe like Ole Miss felt this way, and I really respect the players and wanted to be here and blah, 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 blah. And now it's been funny watching the players start to come out and be like, that's not what was said in that meeting, and he knows it. And you know what? That's not how we feel about this, that, and the other. And so it is kind of interesting to see in this age of social media and how quickly we can get information. Like the stories that it used to be, you'd have to wait for a book 20 years later to read about what's happening. We can see it happen in real time.
It's been funny to read things. You're 100% right. Like the stripes haven't changed, right? So on top of that, Lane said that he was almost run off the road, driving to the airport. It's like, no, you had a police escort. Like, you're lying. That's not true. It turns out his dog that he would take pictures of and post is fake, like not his dog.
What in the world is up with that? Because at one point the story was like, he's leaving his dog. And I was like, that's not his dog? Crazy.
Right. So at that point, it's like, okay, well, you are actually the same person. You've just been trying to rehab your image, and within 48 hours, you've completely destroyed all the good grace that you had.
Just destroyed it. You know who it was a very good week for is Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly all of a sudden is like, you know what? Am I really that bad? I don't know.
Yeah. Yep. And so a couple of thoughts I had, right? So I think Ole Miss, they're fitting into this different tier within Misery Sports Co. where you're not you're not dwelling in the cellar. You have good teams, but you can't get over the hump. If you were an Ole Miss fan, would you accept this knowing that you're going to the playoffs? If you had the foresight, would you be okay with this development knowing full well that Lane Kiffin torched it at the end?
I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know. I'm so conflicted on what that would be like. And I don't know. What are your thoughts first while I collect mine? Because I am torn
it'd be infuriating. It'd be infuriating because you've built something special, and
right.
Lane Kiffin has shown that you can be a top 10 team at Ole Miss.
Right.
I don't know what the difference really is with LSU if Lane's number 7 in the country at this point. He's great at developing quarterbacks. I would, in this theoretical situation, would absolutely do it with Lane Kiffin, because you're showing another coach hey, if you know what you're doing, we can build a program with Ole Miss We don't have to be middle of the pack. We can take some chances. We can be aggressive,
Right.
and ultimately get into the playoff, because the playoff is expanded to 12 teams. It's going to expand probably to 16 at some point.
It will.
Ole Miss is right in that sweet spot to get in the playoff every year and try to build something. And for whatever reason, Lane was just not about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think you have to. I think it's worth it in the long run of where this is going to situate your program. And I wouldn't, count out Ole Miss for doing really well in the playoff. I think we've seen examples of when adversity really rallies. We're both Ohio State fans. We saw when adversity of losing to Michigan for the umpteenth time and being 20-point favorites, and you lose that game, how that can unite everybody towards a common goal. So I wouldn't put it past Ole Miss to make some noise and do well in this playoff. I think everybody will be rooting for them.
100%, yeah. And as Ohio State fans, we feel it a little bit, like on a much smaller scale, because Brian Hartline just got hired as the USF head coach. And this was 2 hours before high school students were supposed to sign with their college teams.
Brutal.
The timing, again, with this NCAA calendar makes no sense.
Yeah.
So now, not only, there was a tweet, actually, I have it right here, from @RealisticBuck. Ryan Day, the Buckeye head coach, is number one, trying to keep Chris Henry Jr., the number one wide receiver in the country, in his recruiting class, because he was recruited by Brian Hartline. Brian Hartline's left, so now he's up in the air. Number two, he's fielding calls from the entire nation about the offensive coordinator wide receiver opening that Brian Hartline created, and he's preparing for number one versus number two this weekend. It's insane.
That's so much. Yeah, the timing was bad. I walked into work this morning, and I work with a very avid Mississippi State fan, and so all this Ole Miss stuff has been utterly hilarious to him, and so we've been laughing about it all. And he's much more into recruiting and everything than I am. And he was the one that came in and broke the news, like, "Oh my gosh, I just got an alert from ESPN that you lost Hartline." And I kid you not, Zach, I fell to my knees because I knew what that domino would start, and it could not have come at a worse time. Although, think about this. If you knew you were going, it would be pretty crappy to wait until after everybody's, and this happens in college football all the time. Mm-hmm. They wait until kids are signed and then committed, and then it's like, oh, by the way, I'm leaving and going somewhere else, and then kids are kind of stuck there. It's easier with the portal now. You can jump, but there's still some commitment. So part of me is glad that he at least let these kids know, like, hey, I'm not going to be there, so they could make an informed decision. I think that's the ethical thing to do.
And credit to Ryan Day too, like at the top, not trying to be hush hush while he's trying to sign his recruits.
Yes.
And Ohio State's going to be okay, right? Because they have an engine, they have a structure, they have an organization that will still chug along. They're going to suffer short term with certain players, but like Ole Miss doesn't have that. They had Lane Kiffin driving the bus, and he just pulled the ripcord, and he shouldn't even be making that decision until the end of the season anyways. Like, it's just crazy to me that a playoff team, you can just leave.
Yes, and the NFL has very, maybe overly strict rules on when you are allowed to talk to candidates for your coaching search. And there are certain weeks during the playoffs where on this day of the week, you can talk to them, and then you can't talk to them again until next week. And so it would make all the sense in the world. And again, you and I have talked about how the academic calendar for students throws this off, but it would make all the sense in the world if coaching, it would be tampering for you to talk to prospective coaches before all of the bowl games and playoff games are played. Get done with all 100%. Of those, move signing day after that, so kids know who they're coming to coach for or coming to play for. Just move everything later. I get that it messes up with the academic calendar. It would be in the middle of spring semester, but this is just absurd what we're doing now.
Yeah, and speaking of, talking to coaches, on the other end of the spectrum, Penn State fired James Franklin what feels like a year ago. It was
does.
several months
It
ago
feels like
at this
forever
point.
ago.
They can't find anyone to fill this vacancy. I have no idea what's going on.
incredible.
They're talking to a lot of people. I just heard, what was it recently? The BYU coach and Crumble
Yes.
Cookies. What was what
Yes,
was the story
the
there?
CEO. So the CEO of Crumble Cookies is, I believe, I know he's Utah based. I believe he's a BYU grad, and so he literally tweeted, "Well, guess it's time for me to go save this thing," and threw a bag at their coach, got him to stay. And so there's a video on Twitter of him announcing to his players, like Wolf of Wall Street style, "I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here." And that was like, from what I've read, that was Penn State's like ultimate safety plan. Like, if nothing else works out, we have at least got this one in the bag. And it fell through.
And Penn State is a really good job. I mean, would you put it up there with LSU? Like, I mean, it's got to be a top 10, if not top 15.
It's very good. The history is very good. The prestige. It is a huge brand. The infrastructure is challenging. So it's in kind of the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. I think the nearest airport's a couple hours away. It's cold. It has history. The fans, I personally think Happy Valley is a harder place to play than Ohio Stadium. Like, the fans are incredible there. With the whiteouts, it's a great place.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely right. I think the some of the logistics make it tougher to recruit, and so maybe that's why coaches are a little nervous. But you also have an AD who fired a coach coming off of a semifinal appearance. They went into overtime against Notre Dame to play in the national championship. And I'm sorry, you had a bad season. This season sucked. You blew it. But they got so skittish and listened to the fans of, oh, James can't win the big one, that we're just going to move on to somebody. We'll get the BYU coach if nothing else. So, like, who's going to come play for that AD knowing that if you have a bad season, you're gone?
And he didn't have a plan. That's the
No
thing.
plan.
And this is like a deep dive into every team that becomes part of Misery Sports Co. It's like, you know, you can think about teams in the NFL with their general managers. Like, if you don't have a vision, a strategy, a plan for what happens after I fire James Franklin. Trevor, they've signed, I think, 2 people to this recruiting class today. 2.
It's
So my
statistically
question
the
is,
worst class right now, right?
It's insane. It's like 150th or something. Like,
Yeah.
my
Behind North
question
Dakota
is,
State.
Oh, it's horrible. Is Penn State headed to the cellar? That's what I'm wondering. Are they going to the bottom of the Big Ten, or can they flip this quickly?
I think it depends who is finally going to say yes to that job. I wonder, and I'm not familiar enough with Penn State staff to know if there's somebody, you know, out there. I know we all know that Jim Knowles took the defensive coordinator job, and I think probably regrets it. I don't know if there's somebody internally that they can promote that maybe the players would rally behind and get behind there. But if you miss out on an entire year's worth of incoming talent, that's almost a death penalty. It's not as bad anymore because of the portal, but you're having to somehow convince players that they need to come play for what seems to be one of the most unstable programs in the nation right now. You had Jeff Brom at Louisville be like, you know what? I'm good. I'm going to stay in the ACC at Louisville and not even be able to compete for playoff spots. Like, I thought about it and I'm so good. Thank you so much. They can't even get him to come to Penn State.
Yeah, there was a tweet. I can't verify it. I'm not going to verify it. But with the Penn State opening, it has driven $300 million in coach extensions at other schools.
Oh
is
my
what this tweet
gosh.
said, which
Boy,
kind
it's
of
making
aligns
some
with
money out there.
Yeah, all this stuff. James Franklin is literally taking recruits to Virginia Tech that were originally committed to Penn State. He's I think 25th now in the recruiting rankings.
Which is, I think, a
crazy.
perfect gig for him. That place rocks. Their student body is so hungry for like mediocre success. And like, if you can go win 9 or 10 games, you are going to be beloved. What a perfect spot for him.
Yeah. Yeah. So thinking about all of the movement that's happened across the country, I'm just listing out some. Our boy, Mark Stoops.
Oh, pour
rip
one
man.
out for
He's
Mark.
gone. At
Pour
Kentucky,
one out for
he
Mark.
is
And you know his brother's gone
done.
too, that inside linebackers
I know.
coach. He's
Mike,
definitely
Mike, Mark,
gone.
Bob, Bill. They're all
out.
done.
They're all out.
Alex Golish from USF went to Auburn. So then Brian Hartline went to USF. Cal fired their head coach. Jim Mora, I didn't know he was still coaching at UConn, went to Colorado State. There's all sorts of different. I thought, and this is interesting, I'll get to this, but with all these coaches, you mentioned Pete Golding as well at Ole Miss. Which one of these got your attention?
You know, I'm really excited for Pat Fitzgerald to get back into the Big Ten. That one has got me pretty amped because Michigan State has been a program that I feel like has had a real roller coaster of existence. They're definitely a basketball school. There's no doubt about it. But their football program has had times where they've been very competitive. I know that their fans rue the day that they did not come to the table and pay Saban because he was there and they just decided not to pay him. And to think about what Nick Saban could have done at a Big Ten school is really something to think about. So they're hungry for success. And say what you want. There's going to be a time where we sit down and we talk about conferences because that has been all over my timeline this week of just conference banter. And I'm really struggling to like find the effort to care about any of that. And maybe it's because we're spoiled with Ohio State and I could not care less about conference stuff. But wherever you land on it, the Big Ten is decently open. And so you have an opportunity for Pat Fitzgerald to bring that Big Ten pedigree. I know there was some stuff that he was maybe involved with at Northwestern that follows him, but I loved him at Northwestern. I thought he brought grit. He was kind of a Vrabel type guy to me, and I'm really excited to see what he can do with Sparty.
Yeah, he got to a Big Ten title game. He played against Ohio State.
He did. Yeah.
I love that pick. The other one that stood out to me was John Summerall. So he was the coach at Tulane, and Tulane was a problem the last several years. So going back to 2022, they were 12-2. 23, they were 11-3, 9-5, and this past year they were 10-2. And he's going to Florida, which Florida's kind of dropped a tier in my mind. So they used to, perennially fight Georgia for the SEC East. I know that there's no divisions anymore, but they've taken a step back and they have just been brutal with Billy Napier. So I'm interested to see. There's no excuse in my mind for Florida, Florida State, or Miami to not have a good football team that's competitive. Like
Absolutely.
You are in, the motherland for high school athletes and to be successful. So I'm excited about that. I'm not a huge Florida fan, but I think that they're going to start to climb these tiers and get out of that cellar they've been in the last couple years.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of equate it to USC. Like USC needs to have a good football program. When what are you doing? You're USC. Like you are the top football school in California. You should be able to recruit just fine. Like what are we doing? That's a great pick. And I think I'm with you. We don't love Florida, but college football is better when Florida is good and can compete with the other SEC schools. You know what, though? Shout out to Florida for probably keeping Texas out of the playoff. Great job. We see you. One other one that I wanted to mention real quick was Eric Morris at University of North Texas. So that's just north of Dallas in Denton. Really small school, and they are on the verge of a college football playoff berth. If they can beat Tulane in the American Conference Championship, they're gonna get to the playoff, which is insane to think about. And he is a case where it's UNT. It sucks, but like there are stepping stone programs. USF is kind of like that, right? Like there's just you hope that you have like the next big coach and can carry you for a few years. Eric Morris is going to go be the coach at Oklahoma State because Mike Gundy is a man. He's 40, but he's no longer coaching at Oklahoma State. And so, but Eric has agreed, and like everybody came together and we're like, let's keep you on through this year. Let's hope we get to a playoff, and you're going to coach through the whole thing.
Nice.
It's not a well-kept secret that he's probably taking his quarterback and his running back to Oklahoma State. But it's a great story. I hope he does really well at, the second best OSU in the country. I wish him the best.
Yeah, this whole thing could very quickly turn into a cluster. The ACC championship game is bonkers.
Gosh.
It's Virginia
What a
versus
disaster.
Duke. And if Duke wins the ACC championship, there might not be any ACC teams because then it goes to rankings. Duke's not ranked.
Yeah, they won't
no
go.
promise. No. So you might have
And like,
UNT.
what a broken system. If you can win your conference and not go to the playoff, like, I don't care about rankings. If you win your conference, you should at least be able to go try, because that at least incentivizes everybody. It matters in the regular season. I got irrationally upset a few years ago when they left Florida State out because their quarterback got hurt and they had an undefeated season. Those seniors earned their chance to go get their butt kicked in the playoff. Like, I don't care what you think. They should have gone. Like, we have lost the plot a little bit when we're not rewarding big performances like winning your conference. It drives me insane.
1,000% agree with you, and credit to the committee for not doing that to Ole Miss, because I thought that they were going to drop Ole Miss.
Yes, and they didn't.
Just
You're
be
right.
like, hey,
You're right.
Yeah, they kept them in the top 10. Credit to the committee, because Ole Miss deserves a chance. The cards are stacked against them. Lane Kiffin's not going to be there. Let's see if they can rally. They're good. They're talented.
Yep.
But they deserve it. They earned it.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
Yeah, I think the final question here is, there's been a lot of movement, firings, changes. I guess, what do you see on the horizon? If you were a betting man, who would you put your chip on as the next coach to either move willingly or to get fired within the professional ranks or the college ranks?
I am praying to Thor himself that Mike Tomlin gets fired from Pittsburgh, because I will drive to his house and promise him whatever he wants to come and coach the Tennessee Titans. Whatever he wants. I don't care. Name your price. Like, slide over a piece of paper, write a number on it, slide it back. I'm not going to look at it. We'll just put it in your bank account. I cannot believe that the Steelers are so spoiled that we have now arrived in a place where fans are chanting "Fire Tomlin" at a home game. I cannot believe that we are here. Those fans know nothing about misery and what it's like to have a bad franchise. They don't know anything about that. I am begging to whoever will listen out there for him to please, like Mike Herndon said earlier in his tweet in this episode, I will crawl across broken glass to see him coach the Titans, because instantly that is culture, that is accountability, and that is a leader of men that will motivate players to bring it on Sundays. And we have not had that since your boy Mike Vrabel left.
You're going to have to leap over my dead body because the hated Cleveland Browns are going to be driving to Mike Tomlin's house.
Man, he would take that job
agree.
over the Titans. The chance to play Pittsburgh twice a year, he would definitely take that.
I'm 100% with you. I mean, there's two things in the NFL that you really need. You need a coach to instill that culture, and then you need a quarterback. He's had freaking Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Mason Rudolph. Like, you can only do so much with these quarterbacks. Pittsburgh fans just need to be thankful that they're competing. They're 6-6, and they're number one in their division, Trevor. They're number one. They're tied with the Ravens.
They're in the driver's seat.
What more do you want? Yeah.
Well, yes, I would.
I just want a shot.
Terrible things. I would pull out this tooth right here to be 6-6 and in first place in the AFC South, which is not crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yep.
they're
I
so
think
spoiled.
if I were going anywhere else, the other two that came to my mind were Steve Sarkisian with Texas and Josh Heupel with Tennessee.
Yep.
I don't think that either of them are going to get fired, but I think that one of them could move, and I think that someone like a Josh Heupel could do the Penn State job.
That would be a great move for them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that maybe he's tired of players leaving. I mean, he had his QB leave for bigger money. You know, he's never going to be in Alabama, a Georgia, in the SEC. If you get to Penn State, like, you can get to the top 4 of the Big Ten pretty quick, and he's an offensive-minded coach. He's had success. My money is going to be on Heupel leaving. I think it might be for Penn State, but Steve Sarkisian, too. He might just be tired of coaching Arch Manning at this point. He might be like, get me out of here.
It's really something, isn't it? I mean, everything was set up to where we had given him the Heisman before the season started. He was going to kind of have a dynasty going, and it has switched so quickly for him. And I think, listen, Sark is an incredible offensive mind. His offenses are beautiful. He's a great coach. I think both of those situations is really, you have these fan bases that can get a little irrationally impatient at times, and they want success now. Especially Tennessee fans are crazy, and my timeline is full of them because a lot of Volunteer fans happen to be Titan fans too, since they're in the same state. And why wouldn't you go somewhere else to where you have a chance to build something without the insane pressure of, hey, we're Tennessee, we should be Alabama and Georgia right now? Like, who wants that?
Yeah, I just remember when wasn't it Greg Schiano was going to be the Tennessee head coach, and they literally ran him out of town.
They ran him out. Absolutely, they did. Yeah, Clay Travis published one story, and then it was like, whoa! Everybody freaked out, and they ran him out of town before he even got there. It was incredible. Why anybody would want the Tennessee job is kind of beyond me. I would almost rather look around. Maybe Jeff Brom's a genius at Louisville. Maybe he is a genius. I would look around, be like, the Big 12 looks pretty winnable. The ACC looks pretty winnable. Why don't I pick a school in one of those, try and build something, and get myself into the playoff that way and make some noise, versus let me go to the most competitive conference, or one of the top 2 competitive conferences. My fan base wants me to win every stinking game and try and appease them. Like, it just... no thanks.
I mean, either of those at Florida State. I don't know.
Hey,
I don't know.
Florida State's not bad. That's a pretty good gig.
We'll see. Well, thank you for taking a trip to the break room with Trevor and myself. It's messy, it's frantic, and it feels exactly like trying to reheat leftovers in a broken microwave. Before we jump into the next segment, we would like to thank our next sponsor.
That's right. Not sure what to get your wife for Christmas this year? Probably should have thought about it earlier in the year, dumbass. It's too late. But hey, while I have you here, who was that Cubs infielder from the 90s that I think had back surgery, and then he got into a fight with like a Reds base runner when they slid in too hard at second and like flipped the guy's hat or something? Oh, wait. Spoogle just popped up and told me it was Sean Dunston. And it was the Rockies, not the Reds. Thanks, Spoogle.
Spoogle. Sean, what was his name? Sean Lunston?
Sean Dunston. Yeah.
Sean Dunston.
Yeah. I
The
remember.
Luke Herringody of 90s Cubs baseball.
When you just need to know, when you're like, I have a memory. Spoogle's here to put a name to a face.
Thank you so much, Spoogle.
Yep. Should have known. And do some Christmas shopping while you're at it, folks. All right, let's look ahead. Let's preview what's ahead for our teams next week. May your expectations remain low and your remote batteries fully charged. Zach, it is time.
It's time.
It's here. It's what all the shareholders have been waiting all quarter for. It is Titans versus Browns this week.
That's right. It's going to be in chilly Cleveland, Ohio. You can get in the door at $8 for a ticket.
$8. What a deal, dude.
To this game. $8. They're basically paying you to go to this game at this point.
It's true. I would say they should run beer specials, but don't do that.
No, they're going to be drinking regardless. You can double the price of a beer. It's going to be a lot of alcohol.
So much.
This is a really important game from the NFL draft perspective.
You betcha.
I have no thoughts. I know that, the only thing I can even focus on from a positive would be Myles Garrett. He's at, I think, 19 sacks at this point. I think the record's at 22 and a half.
He's at
Trevor,
19. He only needs 3.5. Oh my God.
Are we gonna set the record?
Folks, this is appointment viewing. Make sure you pay the $48 to get a Sunday ticket, because that's the only place you're gonna find this game. And settle down and watch Myles Garrett set the single season sack record with like 5 more games to play or whatever it is. My gosh. I am gonna promise you 2 things. 1, the Browns will win this game. I am so sure of it. I would bet everything I have on it. And number 2, if Myles Garrett doesn't set the record, he's going to be 1 sack away or less from the record. I guarantee you both of those things.
There's a silver lining here, and it's a mercy on my end. So the great city of Columbus is not going to put this game on the television. So for whatever reason, they put the Bengals and the Browns on Fox at the same time. This is the only time that they've done that from a scheduling perspective. Of course, the 4-8 Bengals are going to be on. So I am going to miss a good portion. We'll get some red zone going. We'll see what happens. I don't even know if our teams are going to show up on the red zone.
God,
they're just going to be in the middle of the field. You'll probably see a couple of punts muffed from the Browns at this point.
No, Scott Hansen's going to break in through all the commercials, by the way. That's a whole thing. They're getting real comfy with the commercials these days. Scott Hansen's going to break in and be like, oh, before we get back to the Packers game, watch this throw by Cam Ward. Holy shit, it skipped 5 yards in front of somebody. All right, back to the Packers game. We just wanted to show you that real quick. Like, I'm so over red zone, and yet I pay them every year for money. But I may... For the pod, for the bit, Sunday ticket's only like $45 for the rest of the year. I may hate myself enough to just pay it so that I can watch every Titans game from here on out. Because I'll be honest, I have not been great about going back to the NFL Plus archives to watch it, because I listened to the radio broadcasts and it sounds like such a dumpster fire that I have not gone back to watch a lot of it. But I am very interested in this game, and I might pull the trigger to watch this.
So I have a question, actually. This is a question I've had in my mind the last couple of weeks. I've watched just about every Browns game I can, right? Some of them aren't broadcast, but when they are, I'll sit down for a portion of them. At what point, in your opinion, what record, what timing, can you just give up on a team and say, I'm going to check the score on my phone? Where is that point for you?
It's way earlier than it should be. It's so much earlier than it should be. I have not been locked into a Titans game, like locked in, since week 3. That's when I knew that this is done. Now, most weeks I still have an AirPod in and I'm listening to the game while I'm going about my day. But there comes a point when you have to care about your mental health enough to where you're not going to let it ruin your day, because our teams have a really stupid way of dragging us along for 3 quarters and then finding ways to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. And it sucks the rest of the day. Is week 3 crazy?
I'm right there with you in that I give the Browns 4 to 5 weeks to capture my attention.
Yes.
Do something positive. I'll say with this season, I have watched all the way through. What are they, 3-9 at this point? I have watched a lot of Browns football, just trying to find some silver lining. Is Dylan Gabriel good? Is Shadur Sanders good?
Yep.
I can't find it yet. I'm still looking.
I know.
I can't find.
I know.
Now we'll have Cam Ward versus Shadur Sanders, which is kind of cool. Like peek into the future.
But it's coming off of Cam Ward's worst week by far, and so the storylines are going to be, it's going to be tough. But
and the Browns are a top 5 defense. They are legitimately a top 5 defense.
Yes.
Their defensive line is disgusting. They've got a great secondary. Schwessinger's
so
phenomenal at linebacker. We just turn the ball. Like, all the Titans have to do is just wait for the Browns to implode. You just be patient. Punt and play defense. It'll happen.
Well, that's the only place where we're going to score points is on our kick return. If Chimdike can score points on a punt return, then maybe we have a chance. But, like, that's the only... Zach, we scored 3 points on our opening drive, and we didn't sniff points for the rest of the game. I had to listen to them tittle across the field for the next however many drives. I had to listen to Mike McCoy punt the ball in the most cowardly positions, and then I had to hear Cam Ward go to the podium and be like, yeah, we should go for it more. Like, what do we have to lose? I just saw this week, I saw a tweet from Computer Cowboy, who puts out great graphics. And this was which teams go for it when they should. And guess who is dead last in going for it on 4th down when they should? That's my and your Tennessee Titans. What do they have to lose? Mike McCoy, you're not going to be the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. Just try and earn the respect of your players. It just frustrates me so much, and we're all going to get a front row seat this weekend because we have to watch it.
Yeah, so looking at the NFL draft order right now, Titans are number 1. Looks like the Giants are number 2. The Saints are number 3 at 2-10. Raiders are at 2-10 at number 4, and the Browns round out the top 5 at 3-9. So this is a big deal. The Titans
Did
can
you
win.
say where
They're
the Jets
at 2-11.
were?
The Jets are actually at 6. They're
Perfect.
3-9. They just got to win.
Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. So they're the team that I'm really hoping is going to put together a package for the top pick that I am very confident the Titans will have. And so then future Tennessee Titan Arvell Reese can come to us and we can get, Carnell Tate or somebody else later in the first round or whenever. I am, Zach, you can tell me I'm irrational. I cannot imagine if we had Doctor Strange come out with his little twirly windows and stuff, and he's like, I looked through the multiverse. He wouldn't even put up a 1 finger for how many universes he found where the Titans win another game. It's done. It doesn't exist. This team is so ass that they cannot string together the correct sequence of plays to win a single game across the multiverse. I'm so confident in that. I'm so confident.
When you approached for Misery Sports Co., we knew that we would have content, but we didn't know we would have this much content.
To this extent, it's incredible.
it's pulling the curtain open, right? So there's so many other teams, right? The Giants, they've got a bye this week. The Saints are at the Buccaneers. That's a tough one. The Raiders play the Broncos. So like there's some losses here. We got to keep losing to get good draft position at this point.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Yep.
And Jackson Dart came back for the Giants and got rocked on the sideline.
Oh my gosh.
He did the thing where he gets hit. He's parallel to the ground and his feet are still moving like a cartoon.
It's still going.
That was tough to watch. There are some bad teams, but I am telling you, they look like they're playing a different sport than the Tennessee Titans. It is so bad, and I can't wait for Browns Nation to take a look. All you will need is a single defensive score, and I am so confident that you will get at least one, because Cam Ward with those little hands, he'll squeeze a ball on you. Myles Garrett will definitely have a strip sack. All you need is one score, and that's good. And you've got the game. I cannot wait to come back here next week, throw up my hands and say, that's right, all you shareholders out there, now you see how bad this team is, because thankfully America has not been subjected to the garbage that the 2025 Tennessee Titans are. But this week, for us, for our lucky shareholders, it's happening.
I hate this reality. I think that if we lose this game, Kevin Stefanski gets fired. That said, maybe we see a Titans win. I don't know.
Honestly, if it gets Stefanski fired, we will take one. We'll take one for you, because that's how confident I am that we will not win another one. So if you need this from us, just give us a ball and we'll do this for you. But you have to hand it to us in the end zone, because we're not gonna we can't move the ball downfield.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks for jumping into our look ahead. We'll keep you posted on the results of the Browns versus Titans, the battle of the Titans, if you will.
Oof. That wraps up this shift at Misery Sports Co., home of the nation's leading productivity adjacent podcast.
Follow us online. We've got an X or Twitter handle. We have miserysportsco.com, and we also have our podcast posted to all of the big sites: Apple, Spotify, Pocket Cast, you name it. We are there.
We're there.
Hey, if you go on to Misery Sports Co., you can submit your team for a deep dive. So let us know which coach you're going to fire from your fantasy office.
We'd love to hear from you. We will be back with more chaos, more confusion, and maybe, just maybe, and I don't know how I'm going to find it next week, but one moral victory.
Go Titans. Until then, clock out, hydrate, and remember, misery loves company, especially when the coaching carousel is spinning.